Hey, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy Monday morning. I don't know about the rest of the country, but it's sunny and cold here in Colorado Springs, which is pretty typical for this time of year. It starts getting pretty chilly. But this is the latest that Colorado Springs has ever gone without snow. So we are now Tuesday before Thanksgiving, and it still hasn't snowed here, which is pretty crazy. It's pretty wild. So that's either a sign of a mild winter or it's going to be a rough one after Christmas. So welcome to Coffee Talks. This is a new version of Trauma Talks where we're gonna sit down with you guys live in the morning a couple times a week maybe and just chat with you guys. This is broadcasted live on let's see, we got Facebook. We've got the Men's Trauma Unlocking group. We're live on there. We're live on Instagram. We're live on YouTube, as well as a couple other, like the business page and some other stuff like that. So if you guys are seeing this live, feel free to jump on in the chat, ask whatever questions you have, and I will either answer them live by reading them, or if you'd like to jump on live with me and interact directly with me, we can do that too. So the only thing is that I ask you to be respectful and not use any poor language or anything like that, just since we're broadcasted in so many different areas. It could potentially be seen by somebody that could be offended by it. So if you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to jump in. In the meantime, I'm going to talk about something that's really exciting. As you guys know, I've been working on an anthology with 22 other authors called The Empowered Grief Journey. Let me jump that. I'll pull it up so you guys can see the Amazon page here, because pretty exciting stuff. I'm not going to lie. We launched this yesterday, so this has been live for about 24 hours. There's already 80 orders. We're not sure if those are digital or print. You can get this in paperback, but for right now, for the next 3 days, this thing is free on Kindle. You can see right here. You can get it for Kindle for free. And when you go into Kindle, it's the full book, man. You see, you can read it right there on your computer. Here's my bio page. This is the page at the end of my chapter. Here's my chapter 12. Here it is, the abusive father who never came back. So this is my chapter. You can run through this thing in probably 20 minutes. It's about 7 pages long, I think, something like that. And then what's really cool is you can go then to the empoweredgriefjourney.com/Russ, and you can listen to the podcast episode where Chris and I did a podcast together on his podcast. And I think, in fact, I even did some hypnotherapy demonstrations with him so people could see that. But this is really exciting, guys. You can get this thing for free for the next 4 days. The only thing we're asking is, if you're going to read this thing for free, please write a review. And on that note, this is freaking awesome, guys. Check this out. We have got 15 reviews, 5 stars. Everybody's really being super generous with their reviews, and some of them are just beautifully written. 100% 5-star reviews, just fantastic. This is cool. On the bestsellers rank, before the launch, we were obviously pretty low, right? So before the launch, I think our ranking was like 215,000th, right, on the bestsellers rank. Now, in the free and Kindle store, so out of the free books that are available in the Kindle store right now, we are number 1,535. That's climbed another 20 just in the last 20 minutes since I just looked at it previously, because it was 1,555. Number one, guys, number one in emotion self-help ebooks. Number 6 in personal transformation. That's gigantic, man. I can't even wrap my head around that. We've had lots and lots of downloads. Last time I talked to Chris, I think we were at about 80 downloads. I wonder if Chris is online. Maybe we can see if we can get him to jump on with us and chat for a second, man. Hey, buddy. I'm live. You want to join me? We'll go ahead and send him a link so he can join if he wants. And if you guys want to join, you're welcome to jump on too. If you have questions for myself, or once Chris is on here, if you have any questions for him, We're going to be I'm going to be chatting about this book for a few more minutes, and he may jump on, he may not. So we'll see. Anyway, just absolutely crazy, right? So number one in emotion self-hooks. I can't even tell you how much that means, man. That's a big deal, That means that out of the people that are watching and reading, sorry, I got a little distracted here. Whoa. Gotta love live, right? See if I can get back out of this giant screen. Okay. It means out of everybody that read it, they all loved it, and some of these reviews, let me read one of these reviews just so you guys can get an understanding here. Incredibly powerful stories. I found myself in tears and reflecting on my own life as I read through these. Chapter 21 with Sadie was such a unique experience. Her grief over her mother, a woman she never knew, and who had given her up for adoption. I will be sharing this book with loved ones. We have all been impacted by loss, and this is just so powerful. Sadie's story and her chapter is just wow. That's the other thing that I noticed is this thing went live yesterday, and as of today, most of the authors have gotten a chance to read some of the other chapters. So there's some email going around like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just read your chapter. I'm just blown away by it. Yeah. Sadie's is one of those, man. Big time. Let's see another one from, let's do Louis. Incredibly powerful stories. I found myself in tears. Oh, I just read that one. Hold on. I wasn't sure if I wanted to read about grief. Here's a good one. I wasn't sure if I wanted to read about grief. I've had enough of it in my life, and I didn't want to read more about it. I live with it, but this book brought me a small dose of comfort. As I read the stories and I related to not just the grief, but the journeys of others with it, it is an empowering read that reminded me I'm not alone in my journey with this harsh taskmaster grief. Wow, man. Wow, that almost brought a tear to my eye. Here's another. Grief crosses all of our paths at the most unexpected points of our lives till the day we ourselves move on. The stories and courage of these authors and their experiences brought tears to my eyes. As a mother, some of them were my worst nightmare. The strength we found to continue on brings hope and encouragement. Author Shalene Dion, I believe is how she pronounces her name, is D-Z-O-N. Chapter, Return to That High Mountain, made a statement that resonated with me in navigating through grief. For her, reading other people's stories revealed to her the takeaway to find meaning in our suffering so that we can endure. For me, that is where we find the spark of hope to continue on. Yeah, very heartfelt, very well thought out, and very meaningful reviews. I mean, they're all like this. And granted, a lot of these are friends and family. So with that being said, I'm going to drop a link in the chat so that you guys can get a chance to read this for free for the next 4 days. I would love it if you guys would just go in, please, and read my chapters. Chapter 12, The Abusive Father That Didn't Come Back. And if you guys would just read that, excuse me, if you guys could read that and just write a review, and it doesn't have to be anything good or anything crazy. You can just go in there and say, really enjoyed the book, very thoughtful, something like anything, however you feel about it, and then don't just read mine, read some of those other stories, look at them. If you look through the bio pages, you'll get an understanding of where the author is coming from. That's at the end of each chapter. So if you skip to the end, read the bio page, and you can see if that story might resonate with you, and maybe read 2 or 3 chapters. You can read them in 20 minutes. So, oh, hey, let's here we go. Hold on. What's up, man? How you doing, brother? I can't hear him. I think you're on mute, my man.
Oh, wait, there we go.
There you go. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. I'm just working on some author copies for everybody. And
oh, cool. I was just reading a couple of the reviews to the audience.
Oh, nice.
Do you want to hear a few of these? Some of these are really, man, it gave me goosebumps. Okay, cool. Let's see here. We got a total of 15 reviews. #1 in emotional self-help book ebooks, which is mind-blowing to me. I can't get my head around that. Here, let's go. Let's do Louis. Incredibly powerful stories. I found myself in tears and reflecting on my own life as I read through these. Chapter 21 with Sadie was such a unique experience. Her grief over her mother, a woman she never knew, and who had given her up for adoption. I will be sharing this book with my loved ones. We've all been impacted by loss, and this is just so powerful. Where was the other one? This is the one that I thought was fantastic. This one you should excerpt into a pull quote on, actually.
Which one's that?
I'm trying to find it. It starts with, I wasn't sure if I wanted to read a book about grief.
Oh, I saw that one this morning. That was powerful. Whoever wrote that.
Yeah, that one was like, man, that one gave me goosebumps. Oh, I wasn't sure if I wanted to read about grief. I've had enough of it in my life, and I don't want to read more about it. I live with it, but this book brought me a small dose of comfort. As I read the stories and I related to not just the grief, but the journeys of others with it, it's an empowering read that reminded me I'm not alone in my journey with this harsh taskmaster grief. That's a really good one. That's one for the leatherback, bro, to go on the back cover, man.
No doubt. Yeah, I've already got a part 2 for this anthology.
Oh my gosh, dude.
For January. So
I've told a few people, you being one, but because of how successful this has been and how much I got out of it, from on a healing perspective, I'm actually writing my own book. So I'm writing a full book of my own. I'm through chapter 3 now, and it's definitely motivated me to do some more. So
cool I love stuff. That. Tell me a little bit more about that, man.
After this and because of let me back up. 6 months ago, you approached me. You were like, hey, man, I'm putting together this anthology on grief. Would you be interested? And at first I was like, well, I don't really have any grief. And then you mentioned, well, maybe you could write it about the grief that you feel after narcissistic abuse. And it's very true that after a narcissistically abusive relationship or any toxic relationship where there's a trauma bond, that leaving that feels very much like a death. So I thought, okay, sure. Yeah, I can write about that. So I started writing about that. And as I was putting stuff down on paper, the stuff that was evolving out of it just became something different. I didn't make the mental choice, the cognitive choice to write about something different. It just evolved into something different, into what I ended up with, which was chapter 12. So after that, after I've been sitting for like the last couple of months, like, man, I kind of want to do that again. I got so much impact on myself out of writing it and researching it and going back and talking to family members to make sure what I was saying was accurate. Things like that was, it was really truly healing in and of itself. So I'm excited about the memoir because it's just going to be another chance to do it even more. By the way, this is Coffee Talks Live. Here on Coffee Talks, Chris.
That's super funny. I got my wife's Caden mug she made for me after Caden passed.
Nice.
She only made one. She wouldn't make more. I was kind of frustrated with her. but no, that's what I loved about doing this anthology is exactly what you just said. Is a lot of us started with, I can write about this or I can talk about that, and somehow that turned into this very deep place of, wow, I've got a lot of grief or trauma I haven't dealt with, or wow, I haven't even thought about that in 10 years, 15 years.
Not only that, but I hadn't even considered the possibility of grieving my father.
Yeah, I mean, I remember you telling me about that. And I remember you saying, when something that stuck out in my mind when you shared with me about your chapter, that you said, when this man left the world, myself and my family were like, thank God. And, bad, whatever person's gone off the planet. But then you paused after you said that. And I remember you saying, and I thought, shoot, I never got an apology. I never got to say what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
I just thought that was such a powerful moment, that you shared with me through this writing process.
Yeah. And I remember back to that day. I mean, it was 4 or 5 years ago. He died in the beginning of COVID. But my brothers were are very bitter. My mother is still, even though she's been divorced from him for 42 years, she was even a little bitter and kind of like the world's a better place, to the point where they were like ready to put stuff on his obituary, like thank God you're gone, dude. But I imagine that his funeral was probably either empty or people there out of obligation, if there was anybody there at all. To be honest, I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Our author Jill in the book, she wrote chapter 23. She asked a really poignant question a little while back in her Facebook group, End of Life Clarity, and she asked about how people want to be remembered or what you want your funeral to be like. And I remember saying, well, shoot, I've never thought about that. I'm 39 years old, for God's sake. But then I thought about it and said, I don't want people to show up because they feel obligated to. I don't want people to show up just because or not come at all. I want to be remembered because I put a positive mark on the world, or maybe I healed myself and that helped a bunch of other people do something. And that got me thinking about what legacy do we leave behind, at that point in our life.
Yeah, you want them there. I want them there because I touched them in some way, and maybe the free taco bar.
Oh, that. Don't worry, Russ. I'll be there now. I know what to expect.
Well, man, it's been a lot. It's been a lot of fun, dude. And it's been stressful too. And every time you turn around, you have the government shutdown, slowing things with the copyright and all kinds of stuff. And it's just one challenge after another, but it sure makes it taste sweet.
That's what the whole point of this book is about. This is really about, life hits us in ways we don't expect and we can't plan for. And we have to learn how to adapt. We have to learn how to grow. We have to learn how to change. And I don't say that in the personal development world. Everybody says just change yourself just because. But, go in that deeper place of ourselves and find that true purpose and meaning. I think there's so much, you guys listening today, by the way, Russ has shared a lot of his story with me over this last 6 months. And to see where he's come on his journey, I mean, pardon my French, but damn, I mean, that's just a beautiful thing to see in life. And that's the whole gift we get. It's a beautiful process.
It's a second chance. It's a second chance. It's not only is it a second chance, but it's a second chance with all the resources to be successful.
That's what I like about it, because I do feel, my grandfather always told me in life, he said, if you're the same person you are at 20 as you are at 30, as you are at 40, at 50, 60, you never did anything with your life. You're the same person and you never grew, you never learned, you didn't do anything. And so he always told me, change is part of life, whether you like it or not. And grief and loss, by the way, is part of life. You can't escape it. It doesn't discriminate in any way, form. But if it's going to make you a better person, the more you hold space for it. And that's what I love about your transformation you went through writing this chapter. I mean, you're writing a memoir, man. You're 3 chapters deep in a memoir. And I mean, let's just get real. I'd love to ask you.
It's something I've tossed around ever since I started this healing journey and started coaching, because everybody tells you, write a book, write a book, write a book, write a book. I mean, that's the first thing any business coach, if you're a coach, tells you to do, is write a book and put out a magazine. and I figure no one wants to read anything I have to say. And I'm definitely not pretty enough for a magazine cover. So
I'll share you with that one.
I was sharing with everybody that we're going to leave this free until Thanksgiving Day?
Till Wednesday. Yeah.
Till Wednesday. So Wednesday, it goes back to full price.
Wednesday, it'll be free. Thanksgiving, it'll be full price.
Thanksgiving. So you guys have the opposite of Black Friday. You have Brown Wednesday. So on Brown Wednesday. So the only thing we're asking people, if they go on and get this thing for free for Kindle, is that they write a review. Now, if they get it for free, do they get to keep it after Wednesday?
I do. They do. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys get it for free instead of what, $10 on Kindle, right?
Yeah, it's $10 on Kindle, $18.99 for the paperback. My big thing I'm going to ask for you guys, because this is a heart-centered mission, not just to honor my son, but honor all these authors that are in this book, including Russ. They've all done some really deep soul searching and grief through this project. And if you could do me a big favor, you get a copy of this book and you read it and it touches you in whatever way that comes, go find somebody else that could use that book. Go find somebody that could learn from Russ's story, mine, any of the authors in the book, because this is a global movement we're creating. This is what this is. This is much bigger than any one of us.
And there's something in there truly for everyone, right? Because it's a book about grief, which just about everyone has at some point in their life experience. And there's so many different perspectives of grief coming from so many different angles. It would be impossible for someone to read that book and not get touched in some way.
You know, that's how I feel about it, is that there's something in there for everybody. And even in the chapters themselves, you know, some of these authors go into little details about not just their specific grief, but into things that, you know, maybe they went through later on with that. Maybe they didn't see before. They talk holistically about not just their grief experience, but their healing journey at the same time. And so
I had a hard time remembering the acronym, and I didn't have it in front of me. Would you share with my audience the acronym and what each letter? So Chris lost his son to stillbirth a couple of years ago. And that's kind of what helped prompted his growth and everything that he's done and been through, and ultimately what created this anthology project. And he used Caden's name as an acronym to organize the book. Do you mind sharing that?
I do. I gotta pull it up because my brain's been a little scatterbombed today. And truthfully, guys, I literally just came up with that not even 3 weeks ago. Let me just get that pulled up here. So Caden's name, I made an acronym for it, which came through the process of writing this book, because I never would have got there if I hadn't written the book with you guys, to be honest. So his name, what it stands for is courage, acceptance, deep healing, empowerment, and new beginnings. So, and I think that's very representative. If you guys get a copy of this book, and by the way, you guys will see that in Russ's story if you read it. I guarantee it, you will see that from him.
No, and yours too, my friend. In every one of these stories, there's not one of these stories is better or worse than the other. Every one of them are powerful in their own way, you know.
They are, and that's what I think is the beauty of this book, is that it really shows us to have courage right up front to acknowledge ourselves. It shows us where acceptance plays a role, and how do we get to this place of grief to healing, and giving ourselves space to deep heal in a lot of ways, and also understanding that there's a new beginning waiting for us. And this book is not about rushing or racing to get there, by the way. That's the complete opposite of that. It's about finding the timing right for you, and when it does, you guys will see some beautiful gifts come out of your grief story.
Yeah, and this week's Trauma Talks is going live tomorrow. It was recorded on Friday. And because it was Veterans Day week, I ended up doing it with the CEO of Mount Carmel. That's the Veteran Service Center here in Colorado Springs. But from that moment on, for the next several weeks, I'm going to have authors of the book on.
Oh, awesome.
I think we'll do an episode each week with a different author and kind of share our experiences of writing and how it's transformed us a little bit. So that'll be really exciting. I'd love to have you participate in that too, being the whole guide of the whole thing. So
yeah, I'm always game for that. You know, I think that's a great thing you brought up too, Russ, because what I found really empowering about this book, everybody had a unique writing style. Everybody had a unique voice. Everybody told their story completely different from every single author. And it's just really awesome to read a book that's not in one tone, one phrase, one language, one direction. I mean, you can just flip chapter to chapter and it's a whole different perspective. And
you could read this book every day and get something different from it every day, because of the way it's written is so many different voices, so many different perspectives, so many different really like practical tools, right, that you can get from it. But it depends on the mindset you're in that day of what's going to reach out to you. It's really, really cool, man. I'm super excited about it. Guys, I'm going to throw a link in here in the chat so that you can go and grab a copy right there. So if you just click that link, that'll take you to the Amazon page, and you can get your free copy up until Wednesday. Please go get a free copy, man. Read it, write us a review, tell us what you think, tell your friends about it. If you get a paperback, read it. Like Chris said, read it and then pass it on. We can pass that thing on until the cover falls off.
Exactly.
Then you can tape the cover back on. So
yeah, it's just incredible, my man.
Yeah,
I'm
really excited about it, man. Well, hey, thanks for jumping on with me this morning, bro.
Hey, not a problem. I got to run to a mini cast with Terry, but thank you for inviting me on for a few minutes to talk about the book. And And keep me in the loop with this memoir you're writing. I'm all ears, and
You
whatever
know, I
you
was
got to
telling
help me.
Allie last night that I'd like to have it. I'd like to have the main body of the book written by the first of the year.
Nice.
That's gonna be hard to do, man.
If I could throw a whole anthology together in 6 months, you sure as heck can put an outline together like that in a month.
I know. It's just, you know what I've noticed is like I wrote the first chapter and it's a story I've told 1,000 times. The story of me being 3 days old on the couch with my dad and he picks me up and spanks me. I've told that story so many times, it just comes out automatically. It's not even, I don't think about it when I'm telling it. I just, oh, it's story time, but you know, but actually sitting down and writing out and putting on paper, typing it out and then reading it and then going back and fixing it and then reading it and then remembering things and putting it in. Man, you are going through every tiny little details of those traumas. And I called my mom because obviously I was 3 days old, so I don't really remember this. This is all coming from my mom, right? So I called my mom to make sure that all the details were accurate. There was a couple things that she corrected, so I made sure it was true. But man, doing that, just gushing, just the emotional release from going into that kind of detail and really, I mean, really kind of time stamping it and putting it in the past.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sense of closure. I have a whole new belief system around what closure and acceptance is after going through this project. I got a whole different mindset from what I thought it would be. But like you said, you know, when you take what's up here and throw that on paper and then you're revising it constantly, like you said, all those emotions start coming out. And I think it really,
and reading it out loud, putting it. This is a really good example of putting it out in the world. I mean, it doesn't get much more out in the world than this, you know?
yeah, that's, you know, somebody on my podcast a while ago, she's already written a few books and she told me, she said, you got to write a book. And the one reason I asked her, I said, why? And she said, you need to get all that stuff out. And she said, I don't mean out like, oh, it's just there on paper. You need to publish it out into the world because then it's gone. It's out. You can't take it back. It is what it is.
It's out.
And that scared me in a lot of ways when she said that. But now that I published this thing, I'm going, that's freeing. That's so freeing to get that thing off me and just have it there. And I no longer carry a lot of that stuff with me in many ways. I can look back and refer to it, but I don't carry the heaviness as harshly about it because we got a bigger purpose. So
cool. Well, you got to get to your thing, man. So I'll let you go. I do need to connect with you later today. I've got some good news for you on the author stuff.
All right. Sounds good, brother. Thanks a bunch.
Cool, bro. Yep. Have a good one. Take care.
Bye.
Yeah. All right, guys. I really appreciate you joining me. I'm going to get off here and let you guys go on with your week. Once again, happy Monday. Go get this book, man. It's free. Yeah. Even if you don't read it, go get it and download it and read it later. But get it before Wednesday while it's still free. And that's a big one, right? You can see that book, paperback of that book is $18.99. The Kindle version is $10. All right. So after Wednesday on Thanksgiving Day, this goes up to $9.99. So get it before that. Put it on your list to read. Please read my chapter. I would really love that. And then just write a review. Go back on Amazon and write a review. The more reviews that we can get on here, the more it promotes the book to get that book out to more people. Our goal here is not the money. Our goal here is to get the book out to as many people as possible. That's why we left it for free. As long as Amazon would let us leave it for free, they only allow 5 days of free promotion for the book. And we used all 4 of them now. And then we're going to wait for Christmas time to use the 3rd or the 5th one. That way you guys can get it again. But yeah, please get it. Please read it. Please pass it on to your friends. Throw it in a book club group or your library or church library or wherever, man. We want as many people to be exposed to it as possible because it really, truly is a powerful healing tool. So, all right, guys, have a wonderful week, and we will catch you probably Wednesday. Trauma Talks Live comes out Tuesday, tomorrow. Check that out with Colonel Bob McLaughlin of the Mount Carmel Center of Excellence, or Mount Carmel Veteran Service Center in Colorado Springs. He talks a lot about some combat trauma and coming together and working with these vets and some of the stuff that these vets go through when they get out of the military and have to transition from military to civilian life. It's a really good episode. You're going to love it. I promise. It's already, you can go check it out on live videos in YouTube because all our videos are now being recorded live. So you guys can ask questions. You can see me mess up. all the good stuff. So I'm going to close with our book demo or our book graphic, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.